Hello friends, welcome back. I am so glad that you're here. I'm also really excited that we get to sew together today because it feels like it's been a really long time. I'm typically, not sure if I should tell you this or not, but you probably already know. Before every video, I'm kind of just winging it. I just find a cute pattern. I'm like, I could make that. And then I hit record like a knucklehead. Maybe you can see that in some of my videos. But today I have a purpose and there's thoughts that I have and I hope they'll be helpful because I've been getting quite a few questions about this cutie Daphne bundle. So this is a bundle that is available in my shop and a few of you have ordered it and I'm so glad because it's gorgeous. But here's like the big question that I keep getting. What am I supposed to do with it? Which is an absolutely valid question. I think it's one thing to like fabric in a stack here, but then to actually like incorporate them in something, like how do we do that? Especially when this one right here, I feel like is my nemesis. I am so intimidated by this black one because it's just not a color that I use. It's not like a Halloween quilt. Like I don't know where black fits. So this has been a good learning opportunity for me because even when I was making it, I was like, what am I going to do with this bundle? So we're going to talk a little bit about that thought process there. So for those of you that have left comments or sent emails, I promise I'm not ignoring you. I just do not know how to say what I'm thinking in a reasonable condensed form. You would get a book and it'd probably be confusing. So let's talk about Daphne Bundle, or just, I guess, any bundle maybe that looks really cute online and then you get it in person and you love it, but you're like, what am I supposed to do with this now? I'm going to point you over to this one here. I know that we've seen this block a lot, but it is really relevant. And I think there are a lot of good lessons that I learned in this one that are worth mentioning here. I told you I am afraid of this black and I mean it. But when I tried black as the background in here, I was afraid of it the entire time until I actually finished the block. And I thought, oh my gosh, I love this. I love that the black offers a big contrast for this light colored X here and the florals stick out just enough. Sometimes you just have to cut into the good fabric and try it anyways. We just have to try it. And I understand the thought process of using cheaper fabric because if you mess up and it's just cheaper fabric. Like I get that. But if you can cut into the good stuff, you might just like it. And then you have a beautiful block that you can feel like extra proud of because you're like, hey, I did a scary thing here and it didn't totally suck, right? So I get the thought process and I am not throwing any shade to those who do that. I'm just encouraging you to try it with a good fabric too. We have to cut into our stash. We can't hold on to it just because it's pretty. We have to use the stash. Maybe that's just like advice for myself at this point. The most important piece of color theory is that if you like it, then it matches. There's a lot of pressure just to get it right. But if it's good for you and appealing to your eyes, then it's right. So don't put too much pressure on getting your pairings right. And if you like it, then it matches. And last little piece of advice, and then I promise we're getting into sewing. Just pick a pattern and give it a try. That's it. Cut into the good fabric, trust your gut and what you think looks good, and implement it. There you go. There's Kate's color theory all in a nutshell. I think we put a lot of pressure to be like Instagram worthy or like QuiltCon worthy. And there is a time and a place for that kind of like meticulous and like perfection, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like I understand that. But if this is your quilt for your home, for your snuggling needs, then it's perfect, okay? I like to use blockheads, mostly because they're free, but they're usually quick blocks and they're an easier construction. So I can do a couple of tester blocks with a bundle and decide what combinations I like and maybe which combinations I'll avoid in the future. So for this Daphne bundle today, we are going to work on Glimmer. We've done a few blockheads together It's been a little bit, so I'll be glad to get back into the groove of things. But this one is called Glimmer. So we've got a lighter star on the inside, then kind of these accenting dark points. And I'm contemplating whether or not to make this diamond and a square here in the middle different from my background, but time will tell because we're playing. So let me cut some fabrics down. We're going to do the 12-inch block, and we're going to make some flying geese. This is going to be a cute one. So let's cut some fabric. And there we have all of our cut pieces for this quilt block. I did decide not to use this light tan, which is a-okay. We will save it for another time. But I really like this floral right next to the gingham. So I decided that whatever we do in here, these two just need to be neighbors. So you know me, I love a good opportunity to color. So I'll kind of show you my thought process here. I decided to do all of the background in here, that light gingham. And then right here, these points are going to be my floral. My inside star is going to be the solid black. And then I did decide to do the diamond in the square here in this gray. I'm hoping the black being with the gray kind of softens the harshness of that one, because I really did not like the black on the gingham together. So I just wanted to do something a little bit different. So it was still light, so the whole middle wasn't this dark thing, but I think it was enough to kind of offset the black. So that's what it looks like in my head. We will see what it looks like in real life here in a second though. So let's start off with these flying geese. We're going to be making 2 points. We have 2 flying geese stacked on top of each other. So we're going to get our 3/8 inch of the black floral, 3/8 inch of the black. We're going to tuck the rest of these off to the side for now. I've got a 5.5 inch square of the gingham and of this floral. These two are going together and these two are going together. We're going to be doing flying geese the 4 at a time method. Let me get a marker out because we get to draw some lines. On the back of each of these squares, I am going to draw a diagonal from corner to corner. I made a mess of my ruler drawer and I should really fix it, but not today. Okay, corner to corner, we're going to use our ruler and we're going to draw that line. We're going to do this on all 8 of these little 3 1/8 inch squares. Okay, and then we're going to put right sides together, lining these smaller squares into the corner of the big square, and another diagonal again. And we wanted that line that we've drawn on these 2 squares to go from corner to corner here. We are going to sew a 1/4 inch to the right of this line and a 1/4 inch to the left of this line, and repeat for this one as well because this is the same process. Let me get that far and then we'll go from there. And there we have both of our squares with our little squares sewn on top. That's what that seam looks like on both sides. We're going to take our ruler and we are going to trim right on that line that we drew, giving us 2 triangles. And then we are going to iron these points up and over. And there we have those kind of funny heart-shaped looking things. We're going to flip those this way, grab our remaining squares, again tucked up in those corners. We want that diagonal pretty much to go straight through the middle of those points. So on both sides of that line, and then we're going to repeat that for all of these and then trim again. And there we have that extra square sewn on there. Trimming is exactly the same. We're going to put our ruler right on that line and cut, giving us flying geese. So we'll iron that up and over. Then we will talk about trimming these to the appropriate size, and then we'll move on to the diamond in the square. Let me catch up to you and then we'll keep going. And there we have all of those nicely ironed. See, aren't those 2 cute together? It's not too bad, right? Let's talk about trimming. Our most important part is down here at this point. We need to have our 1/4 inch seam allowance there. So that's going to be my guide for everything else in this flying geese. I'm going to center this as best as I can in between the top and bottom, but I want that point to be above this 1/4 inch line. So I know that I can cut the rest of this and be just fine. Okay, so now we've got a good, my blade is loose, I can feel it. Now we've got a good L or straight edge here, and we're gonna line that up with 4.5 and with 2.5 on the very edge. And it's really nice because now our 45-degree lines up with that angle in our flying geese. And I know that we've eyeballed it pretty good. We probably should have lined it up from the get-go, but here we are. I'm going to trim all the rest of them down to 2.5 and 4.5, and then we will start our diamond in a square. Ta-da! There we have our perfectly trimmed flying geese. So we could sew these together right now, and the instructions want us to, but we're going to batch piece it a little bit. I need to sew the corners onto our diamond in a square. So we're going to start with our 4.5 inch square here. We have our 2.5 inch squares of the black, and we're going to be replacing all of the corners in the square with the black. We can do opposites because they'll be out of the way for the seam, but we cannot do neighbors at a time. So if you'd like to do 2 at a time, they have to be opposites. But as I'm sewing this diagonal, I'm actually going to sew these together as well, since I've already got fabric in my machine. Does that make sense? So we're batch piecing, not like things together. What's going on with me? Let me get there and then we'll keep going. Real talk. I really wanted to finish this video this morning. Obviously it did not work out. We had to go to church. And I really thought, just scrap everything and start all over. But I really do not want to start all over. So I don't know if the last transition was. I'm not even 100% sure what my thought process was a few hours ago. So we're just going to pick up and do our best. Looks like I've got all of these flying geese sewn together. I am going to iron these up and over. Looks like my diamond in a square is done. So when ironing these flying geese, I'm going to iron this black one up and over. That way we don't have to mess with that bulk in the blue one. And then I guess we'll just carry on from there. So hello again. All right, so there we have our flying geese. I'll throw those away. Let's lay this out. There's our middle, and we've got all of these points going around. Oh, this is gonna be so cute. Okay, 4.5 inch square there, 4.5 inch there. I feel like the gingham and the black just really want to fight each other, but the floral, like, makes them play nice. All right, we're gonna add the corners to the middle piece of the flying geese, which you really can't see, sorry friends. Then we'll add these 2 sets to the side of our diamond in the middle. And then we've got our other 2 remaining gingham blue squares. I'm gonna sew all these in rows and then sew my rows together so that we can have one magical ending. Here we go. And there we have Glimmer. This turned out really cute. It's different, but I really like it. So I'll give you a close-up of that one. Do you see the blues in there? Yeah, they just pair really nicely with that blue gingham. So just try something new. That's all I'm asking. Cut into the good stuff. You may be surprised with what you come out with. Now, granted, these are 2 different blocks, but I think with this and a quilt top, I feel like the colors are cohesive enough, even though we went dark background with a light background. So, not too shabby. You have to tell me what you think. Yay or nay. Here is your reminder. sign up for Mystery Stitches. You grab one of those bundles because you do not want to miss out on this game. I did a lot better with the rules. So be sure to check out the last video so that you can get all the official details. But Mystery Stitches is seriously so much fun. And you're going to be so happy that you participated. I promise you. So we will see you soon, friends. Bye.